Hi, exploring whiskey people.
Before we get to today's review, we wanted to let everyone know that September is Childhood Cancer Awareness Month.
My son Jason was diagnosed at the age of 7 with osteosarcoma, which is a bone cancer. He passed away a little over a year later, actually in the month of September.
So this month, we're going to be supporting the St. Jude's charity campaign in Jason's honor. Our goal is to raise $500 for this great cause. There is a link down below in the description for this charity.
Everyone knows that St. Jude doesn't charge families for treatment, but did you know that they have an incredible prosthetic program? Here's something I never knew. Insurance only covers one prosthetic limb in a lifetime. But if a child requires a prosthetic as a result of illness, of course he's going to outgrow it at some point. St. Jude recognizes this and provides prosthetics all the way up to adulthood.
80% of kids with cancer, by the time they are diagnosed, it had already spread to other areas of the body. This is why it's extremely important for these children to begin treatment right away.
We appreciate any support you can give to this great cause.
Now, on to our whiskey review.
Cheers.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm Eric.
And I'm Kevin, and this is Exploring Whiskey, where we will be sampling whiskeys from around the world.
This episode, we're going to take another deeper dive into the world of scotches. And today, what are we going to be sampling, Kevin?
Glenrothes is what I believe I believe it's pronounced. It's a 10-year Speyside Scotch whiskey. So it's going to be a little bit lighter. It is finished in a sherry cask, so it's going to pick up some of that flavors. But the Speyside, similar to the Highland, is going to be a little bit of a lighter, not that over smoked or peaty or briny that everyone thinks when they think Scotch. Overall, it's a very light whiskey with it's only 80 proof.
It's light. It's a little darker than the Glenmorangie that we previously sampled, just in the bottle, but in the glass
Comes out light.
It's
a little darker.
It's a little darker in the glass.
It's a little more golden color, maybe. This is another Scotch that has multiple varieties. This is the base level, and then there's like a whole run of 6 or 7 other, slightly aged longer, different casks, all that kind of stuff. So different proofs. I thought that was kind of an interesting one. They actually play around with the proofs too. So this is an 80. They'll play around up to into the 90s. So
even to the nose, it's very light.
Yeah. Super floral. That's really the first thing I get off of that. Super floral. There is not a lot there. So that's really light. Pale.
Very oily. A lot of legs.
The funny part was, at first I thought there was no legs because I couldn't see anything. And then it finally started to come down. I was like, oh, that's got a lot of oil sitting on top of there. That is, again, it's a very light.
Yeah.
It's nothing, there's no one note that's overpowering or super strong. There's a little bit of a lemon, honey sweetness. I know the first time I tasted this, I got more of like a lemon shortbread, but I'm really not getting that shortbread. Right now, it's more of a lemon zest almost.
Yeah, it's sweet from the nose all the way through the finish.
Yeah, there's more of a, I completely lost that shortbread cake, or that a lot of scotches end up having. Don't have that. Have a lot more of a lemon zest type of a taste there, with maybe like a floral honey, like a more like farmer's market honey type thing. But
no burn.
Super light. I mean, it is AV proof, so we've definitely had some different whiskeys that are way
hotter.
Overpower that. But 80's still, that's still a good chunk of alcohol to not have.
Yeah.
Nothing on the nose.
I get more ethanol on the nose a little bit.
If you go deep, if you go really deep, You can get a little bit more ethanol on the nose.
But there's none of that on the finish.
No. There's a sherry beginning, and then it turns very lemony. Mm-hmm. And then it just kind of sits there, and it's sweet
very
lemon.
Smooth, no burn.
Lemon drop? It's not that sugary.
No.
It's not that kind of sweet. It's a more subtle, like a honey tea type.
It's
sweet.
another introductory for the
There's another one.
ladies and gentlemen out there in the audience that are wanting to tiptoe their way into the Scotch world. This is another introductory one.
Yeah.
I don't think you can go wrong here. Another episode we did, the Glenmorangie 10-year, that was very floral, smooth, sweet all the way through.
Yes.
I think this has very, very similar notes to it.
Absolutely. It's a different note. The more, definitely the sweeter the lemon, it's like a slightly different profile. But Speyside is another one. That Highland Speyside Scotch, if you're looking to just step outside of an American whiskey or a bourbon or any of that kind of, that's not a bad place to start. You're going to get a little bit more muted notes to a lot of your flavors that you're picking up, and it's overall very good.
I think it's very good.
I will explain. A lot of scotches have the word Glen in their name. Glen just means valley, so that they're just naming it. The Rothes it's the valley of Rothes. It's just a place, a location. They're actually naming the location. That's how they named their whiskeys. But they've had some bad luck.
Yes, they have.
They've had a handful of stills explode or burn down, and they've had some bad luck.
They're still going though.
They're still going and putting out really quality product.
I might actually try more from here, given this is their
Baseline. 10-year.
10-year. It's pretty solid.
And it's I don't have the box, but it comes in like a little display box, and they all have the same shape.
Oh, okay.
So it's really kind of an interesting lineup when you see them all lined up on a shelf at a store. But yeah, overall, I think it's a very solid whiskey, a great introduction to, again, something outside of what maybe you're used to. And even for if you really don't enjoy this American whiskey or bourbons, this is different. Yep. It's different enough that it could, maybe that's the flavor profile that you would really like.
Yeah, I would recommend this one as a starter. Definitely a starter.
Yeah, it's not complex. Mm-mm. It's not something, adding water to this is probably not a good idea. Putting this over a cube, probably not a great idea. It is not a complex flavor profile. It's not a complex nose, but it subtly gets you a lot of good notes.
I found most single malts for me, you got to go neat.
Yeah.
You're going to get the full flavor. And I've always said that with whiskeys and bourbons too. If you first want to sample them,
start there.
Sample them with a small pour, neat, so you can get the full flavor. And then after that,
experiment.
Add some water, add some cubes, kind of what fits your palate and your flavor there. But no, I think this one and most single malts, it's definitely neat. Enjoy it, taking the full flavor. But no, this has been another very informative, great episode.
Yeah.
As our path down the world of scotches. I hope you've enjoyed learning about this one. I know I have.
Yeah, this was a accidental solid buy.
But no, as always, if you've enjoyed this episode, we ask you to hit the like button down below.
And while you're down there, if you could also subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon to get notified every time we post a new show. And then while you're down there, if you could post a comment for a particular whiskey, Scotch, bourbon, doesn't matter, something you're interested in, something you'd like us to review, or something you've had that you really think we'd enjoy, throw a comment down there.
We'd love to get out and hunt for it and sample it on the show.
Absolutely.
But again, appreciate you for joining.
Thanks very much.
Cheers.
Cheers.